La Maison, hautes falaises is set on along the beautiful, wild, remote coast of Australia, where you can walk on a beach by yourself and see nobody. The landscape is really important to the two main characters in the book, who are Lex Henderson, who's a radio journalist who's from Sydney, and he's had a terrible disaster in his life. And as a result of this great tragedy, he's run away to the coast because he's so deeply hurt and bruised. Everything in his life is falling apart and he needs to escape. And through this, he actually meets an artist, Callista, a young woman who has her own troubles in life. It's a very difficult friendship for them because they both have secrets. Nature is essential to my books. It's where my soul lives. We live in big cities, I live in a city too, and we've become so separate from nature. And one of the reasons I write is to remind people about our beautiful world and remind us of our connection and how it can help us spiritually. But also I think if we remember those places, we care about them and then we try to save them. Definitely, yes. I'm a veterinarian and I became a veterinarian to work with horses actually, but my work led me into working with Australian wild native animals, and I've been very fortunate to work with many different types of Australian animals, not in zoos but out in the wild where they live, and that's wonderful for me because it brings together my love of nature and my love of animals, and I try to share those in my books. The book actually began when my daughter was a little baby and my husband sent me down to the coast to have a break. When I was sitting there, I was struggling, couldn't think of a good idea. I looked out the window and down below the cliffs I could see puffs of vapour as some whales were going past. And I was so excited, I ran out like Lex does in the book. I ran out and I was so excited, I was smiling and laughing, and there were the whales out there with their big flippers waving in the air, the tails crashing down, and I found it extremely exciting. The book also discusses, as a big part of it, an actual whale stranding. And even though I haven't been to a whale stranding myself, I have other veterinary colleagues who have been to strandings, and I talk to them about all the difficulties. As a wildlife veterinarian, I've also seen some really difficult, complex situations where animals have been injured or hurt, and I've had to make decisions, life and death decisions, and I wanted to bring the ethics of rescue into this book as well, so it's a really important discussion for me. Le Murmure du Vent has just come out in France. That's very exciting for me. It's a story about the wild ancient mountains near my home in Canberra, and it's about the kangaroos that live in those amazing landscapes. And it's a story of the lives of the people who have lived there and whose life and connected with the environment, the landscape there as well. I'm going to read some more French literature after my visit to France. I'd like to read some more Victor Hugo, and I have a massive pile of books. I usually see how I feel and then dive into something. But remember, it's coming into winter for me, so in Australia, so I'll curl up with a blanket and read a book there.